So the UK have given the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. Home to one of the most important military outposts in the world, someone thought it would be a good idea to give it to Mauritius. These islands gave us a strategic alliance with the US, as they have a base there and some real leverage in the region. The US also paid us to have their base there, so the cost of the upkeep on the island was basically nothing. So, yet again, this fucking guy decides to screw us with the deal of deals. We moved from having a strategically important island that costs us nothing to renting the land back for £101 million per year, and, as a goodwill gesture, give them £3.4 billion as a little present. I mean, it's not like we could have spent that money anywhere else. For fuck's sake. Inflation rises 3.5% in April, driven largely by the general expenditure line of your council tax bill. Increased expenditure and things are so much better, you say? So the cost of delivering services has increased due to inflation, and this has in turn increased inflation. So we are trapped in this never-ending cycle. Can we fix it, I hear you ask? Yes, through local government reform, modernisation, regulation, and empowering local democracy. Why aren't we doing anything? This fucking guy. Reforms are risky. Increasing spending requires money through taxes, and it's far easier to blame the local council than to raise taxes and explain why we need to do this and risk the wrath of the voters. The NHS is launching a network of dedicated mental health accident and emergency units across England to alleviate pressure on traditional emergency departments and provide specialised care for individuals experiencing mental health crisis. Sounds good, right? A place where people in crisis can go to help for as long as they need it, possibly indefinitely, where they can get cutting-edge treatment, creating a dedicated place for people with mental health issues. Is that not an asylum? I'm sure we closed those, didn't we? Begs the question, are we building sanctuaries or institutions? Are we building these to support people in crisis or to hide them away? Surely the better option is to fund the NHS and give people the support they need before they get to a crisis point. An extra few billion a year to the NHS could fix a lot of problems, but I guess these fucking guys have other priorities. The IRR, the Institute of Race Relations, for fuck's sake, run by this fucking guy, Liz Fuckit. Sounds like a right barrel of laughs. Author of books like A Suitable Enemy, Racism, Migration and Islamophobia in Europe, and Europe's Fault Lines, Racism and the Rise of the Far Right. The IRR has determined that they are concerned the border force is effectively operating under military command. I personally would be concerned if they weren't. My understanding was that the military were pretty much set up to protect our borders, but in a world gone mad, that is now not the case. They are concerned we've established a clandestine channel threat commander, and we are using military-grade drones. In other words, they don't want us being sneaky, and they want us to only deter people crossing the border with toys. The world truly has gone mad when I say, Kia, you must be doing something right to piss this shower off. Please, don't back down. I wouldn't hold my breath though. We all know he's a spineless prick. Nigel Farage wants to make it easier to have children. Which I thought he meant he intended to impregnate all the women in the UK himself, so you don't have to. But turns out that isn't what he meant. Farage says he wants to lift the cap. I didn't realise that was still an effective birth control option, but Farage is old school. He also said he would introduce more generous tax breaks for married couples, but under his breath I think I heard him mumble something about except for the gays. If he didn't say it, I think we all know he was thinking it. Old school. He will also raise the income tax-free threshold to $20,000 and restore the winter fuel payments. Although that may be a bit pointless as Starmer's already backed down on that one. Labour Party chairwoman Ellie Reeves accused Farage of fantasy promises. So I guess she also thought he intended to do the impregnating, and it wasn't just my puppet mind. These announcements came amid discussions within the Labour Party regarding the two-child cap, which I think is a great money-saving plan. Nigel Farage, what a boy. The Labour government faces scrutiny over its justice policies, particularly concerning early prisoner releases. Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood has defended the position, stating unsustainable growth of prison populations. I wonder why it's growing. As of March 31st, 2024, there were 10,500 foreign nationals in custody in England and Wales, making up 12% of the overall prison population, a rise of 62% since the turn of the millennium. Top spot goes to Albania with 1,273 prisoners. 1 in every 50 Albanians living in this country are in prison. Let's not even start on the Somalis. Over 10% of them are currently in prison. Why don't we send them home instead of putting them in prison here, I hear you ask? Because we have to get their permission, and they might not like an Albanian prison. Utter craziness. Come to the UK, commit a crime, and we can't even send you home as our prisons are too soft. The answer is make the prisons less welcoming, not shorten the sentences. What message does this send to the criminals of the world? For fuck's sake, this is insane. The UK government has unveiled a significant overhaul of the pension system through the upcoming Pension Schemes Bill, aiming to consolidate existing pension schemes into large-scale mega funds. These funds are designed to enhance investment returns for savers and channel substantial capital into domestic infrastructure and high-growth sectors. Sounds good to me, but I'm an idiot, so let's have a little think. What if these giant funds fail? Well, the answer is, you're screwed. Small print says the government reserved the right to compel investment where they want it. Do you trust these guys? Who is accountable for these massive funds? Nobody knows. How much will these mergers cost? Nobody knows. They will focus on UK companies. What if they're shit? What if I don't want to join a mega fund? Hard luck. You signed up for the Communist Manifesto, now live with it. Again, it sounds like the government are trying to control what we do and how we invest. Well, hey, what do I know? I'm a puppet. But I just don't trust these bastards as far as I can throw them with my tiny puppet arms. Jerry Adams awarded €100,000 in libel case against the BBC. Strange one to pick a side on this, as they are both pretty diabolical. But the hands-down winner of Deviant of the Day has to be Jerry. Jerry Adams, 76, and a former president of Sinn Féin, has long denied ever being a member of the IRA, despite everyone with a mind thinking differently. A 2016 BBC Spotlight programme featured an anonymous interviewee, Martin, who claimed the IRA murders were approved by its political and military leadership, and that Adams gave the final say. Jerry didn't like this, as he has not and has never been a member of the IRA, and anyone that says differently are a pack of naughty liars. Court costs were thought to be around €5 million, so not a great day for the BBC and in turn the people of the UK who have to pay the licence fee. To put this into context, we may have to scrap 35 episodes of EastEnders to pay for it. So, not all bad news. The BBC expressed disappointment and stated the Spotlight programme was produced with due diligence and in the public interest. Adams described the verdict as a vindication of his lifelong denial of IRA membership and a necessary challenge to what he termed reckless journalism. Pretty crazy, The nerve of the guy. If he really had principles, surely he would just admit to them and just say, yes, I am a member of the IRA, like you all already know. Anyway, like and subscribe. Dick Scoop for the News Ferret.